Cameroon is bleeding for more than 7 years. The Anglophone regions of this country have lived through violence, fear and silence. Classrooms are empty, businesses abandoned, lives lost, and yet once again the powerful are back with promises. As the 2025 election approach, we hear it all again: unity, peace, decentralization, progress. But where were these voices when the crisis was at its peak? Where was the justice? Where was the dialogue? When teachers were dragged in the street, when lawyers were beaten, when villages were burned. In this video, we take you deep into the Anglophone crisis, its root, its pain, and we compare the promises politicians are making today with the harsh reality on the ground. If you're watching this video now and you've not subscribed to this channel, kindly hit the red button and subscribe, and also don't forget to turn on notification bell so you get notified every time we drop a new video. Let's get started.
From the hills above the valley, the breathtaking view of a defiant city. Bamenda, the capital of one of the two Anglophone regions of Cameroon, is now under the supervision of special police protection units. Armed patrols in a city at the epicenter of an unprecedented contestation, still bruised after several days of rioting. In this amateur video shot by protesters, flames of anger rise above the city. At the head of the procession, one of the leaders of the protest, Mancho Bibixi, the mouthpiece of these Anglophone protesters, a linguistic minority in an officially bilingual country. A few days later, freed after being arrested, he's still determined to fight in the name of the 20% of Anglophones that feel marginalized by Francophones. Living in a centralized state is out of the question for this activist.
Either they give us a federation, which means that the Anglophone population will have their own parliament. They will have a prime minister, and the same thing will be for the Francophone population, and they will live together. We can elect our mayor, we elect our governor, and we stay together. If they don't want to give us that, then they should allow us go. Let Anglophones go their way and form their own state. Let Francophones stay in La République.
The English school system on a month-long strike is at a standstill, demanding a federal state with an autonomous English language administration.
To understand the Anglophone crisis, we must go back, far back to 1961. British Southern Cameroons voted to join French Cameroon in what was meant to be a federation, two systems, equal partners. But in 1972, that federation was dissolved. Power became centralized. Slowly, the English-speaking regions were sidelined. Their laws, their education system, their culture, all eroded by a decade of neglect. This wasn't just bad government, it was betrayal.
To see what is happening in Cameroon right now, I am just seeing a civil war. Can I call it a civil war?
I don't think we can quite call it a civil war. I think that we have a group of people, a significant group of people, 20% of the population, that has been marginalized for the last 60 years. That sentiment of marginalization is general. However, within that group of 20% of the people, a very, very small minority have decided to take up arms to fight for their rights. The majority of Anglophones in Cameroon do not agree with an armed fight. I think there's agreement that the Anglophone population is marginalized, that we have to solve this problem. But for those of us who live in Cameroon, an overwhelming majority do not believe in the use of violence to fight for our rights.
And yet, 3,000 people have been killed since 2017, and that's probably quite a conservative estimate. I want you to hear, Kamto, because you said this is not a civil war. These are a few people fighting each other. I want you to hear a witness who saw what happened at the school in Kumba, and then a parent of a child who was murdered. Let's have a listen.
Yes, they were shooting with their local guns. People were crying, and the worst part was when they came on top of this building. I heard most shouting when they had climbed here, and they started shooting here. By then, I never knew that they were killing people here. So after they are done, they ran away. Before, when we were running away, I saw dead bodies lying here, some lying unconsciously. Even.
Yesterday, I carried Rennie.
Yesterday, I carried Rennie. I told her, "Rennie, please don't disappoint me and die." And she said, "Father, I will not disappoint you." I had so much hope for Rennie, so much hope. And now she's gone. I know she struggled to live. If she didn't battle for her life, she would have died immediately when she was shot. But she battled for her life.
For that moment.
So, Edwin, no parent wants to ever bury their child, but in those particular circumstances, it's horrific. When you heard about school children being murdered, what was your reaction?
Fast forward to 2016, Anglophone lawyers protested the erosion of the common law system. Teachers demanded reforms in the school system peacefully. What they got was force, tear gas, arrest, shutdowns. From peaceful protests to bloody clashes. It didn't take long. Armed separatist groups emerged, vowing to fight for an independent state called Ambazonia. The street became war zones, and the government's response, more force, more silence, more suffering.
Affects real people. Those children died because Cameroon is trying to make an experiment in merging two incompatible systems. It can't work. Let's just put an amber exit, which is the equivalent to Brexit that just happened in the United Kingdom, where the European Union allowed, under the auspices of the Maastricht Treaty, anybody in European Union, any of the countries in European Union can decide at what time to leave. And United Kingdom has left the European Union.
So, Edwin,
the Republic of Ambazonia,
Edwin,
needs to leave.
we just heard that parent grieving over his child, and you go back to a plebiscite. So that was your first reaction. You're thinking
1961.
politics. You're thinking politics. You're not like, I see that parent, and what's the hashtag right now? Cameroon is bleeding, okay? The Cameroons are sharing. Cameroon is bleeding. You're going back to a 1961 plebiscite. That was your first feeling. That was your first feeling. And everybody heard that. Let me just bring in Eric. Can't go ahead, and then Eric.
A permanent solution.
So that's what you thought. You saw the dad, you saw him grieving, and you thought 1961. Carl, go ahead.
I think this is the problem. We have a political problem in Cameroon that is clear. As Anglophones, we feel marginalized. As Anglophones, we do not have the same unanimous opinion on the solution. Some want to separate and go into Ambazonia. Some want to stay within Cameroon and be able to have a federal solution. And some even want to stay in the unitary state as it is. Why are we killing children over this? We want, those of us who live in Cameroon, we want Mr. Edwin Gang and every other Ambazonian group to declare that they are going to stop their troops from attacking children in schools.
In 2019, after intense international pressure, President Paul Biya called for a major national dialogue. It was hailed as a turning point. Special status was granted to the northwest and the southwest regions of Cameroon. Decentralization was promised, but ask the people living there what changed. They will tell you not much. The violence continued. Armed groups and military forces still clashed. Innocent civilians still died. The dialogue, many said, was just a show, a public relations stunt.
70-year-old Mary Awad lost her home and business to the separatist war that's been raging in Cameroon's Anglophone regions since 2017.
I don't want to talk about or remember it anymore. It makes me cry because I feel bad. My house was burned down. I escaped and here I'm living in one room with 6 children. Where will I be buried if I die now?
Once a wealthy businessman, Takem Waters now assists his wife to Ruscon to serve. He was disabled after he was hit by a stray bullet.
My children used to go to boarding school, which I pay 250, 300 per year. But now to pay even 23,000 francs with the government school year is difficult because I don't have the means. I'm here paying house rent. We are living in one room. I mean, one room has 4 people. 4 people. 4 children, and 2 parents, the mother and the father, living in one room. To who will I go and complain? Nobody.
Mary and Takem are among hundreds of thousands of internally displaced persons, IDPs, in Cameroon's Anglophone regions, where the war is ongoing. Wherever you go in this troubled part of the country, it's the same heartbreaking story of families struggling against hard times as a result of the war. Displaced persons have been hit particularly hard. Many of them feel abandoned by the government and the rest of the world.
We have no help, nothing. So we are living by the grace of God.
We are neglected because nobody is asking how they are managing, how we are managing, how we are surviving with our families. Nobody is asking.
In its latest ranking, Aid Group, the Norwegian Refugee Council, ranks Cameroon as the second most neglected crisis in the world, with Burkina Faso topping the annual index.
The interests of the major stakeholders, especially the West, is not really Cameroon as a priority. And they consider the conflict more of a kind of an internal problem. So to them, this doesn't affect international peace and security. That's why even the ICRC, which is like the custodian of international humanitarian law, has not ascertained that this is a war. As we speak, they have not said this is a war.
There are over 2 million displaced persons in Cameroon. There are no camps to accommodate them. For the past 7 years, they have been hoping to get back to their homes and start a new life. A dream they fear may not become a reality.
During the 2018 elections, the ruling CPDM party promised peace and security. The president himself spoke of national unity, but today in 2025, the conflict still rages. The same promises are back again. Opposition leaders like Maurice Kamto have spoken strongly about resolving the crisis. Gabriel Labai has mentioned federalism, and Keremuna pushed for deeper dialogue. But here is the question: are any of them really ready to solve this crisis, or are they simply using it to win votes? We've heard promises before. What we need now is action.
Putting 6 kilometers together.
The visit of Barrister Keremuna in Tombel marked a significant moment for the PAP party, where its political stronghold and support base are firmly established.
We are telling the people of Tombel that time has come when everything like that is going to put an end. As from October there will be a new change under the Batoni Akeremuna, which is rich experience.
Accompanied by their national president, they engage with the population, discussing their political vision and presenting their presidential candidate.
We are calling on the population of Tombel that PAP is back in full swing and PAP is ready to support the Batoni Akeremuna because we feel that he is the right person at the right place to bring the change.
They urge supporters to make wise choices in the upcoming presidential election, highlighting their commitment to tackling corruption and their readiness.
Pessimistic rumours have been spread about possible social tensions as election day is approaching. We won't let these ill-intentioned prophecies destabilise us.
In this district of Yaoundé, most voters seem on message. The few people who do criticise Biya's powers don't dare to do so in public. Even the other candidates praise the president.
I call on all Cameroonians to vote for Paul because he's the first president who has mastered African politics. I do not want to see what happened in Ivory Coast or what happened in Libya come here.
What he has done is bring us a lot more freedom. Cameroonians are free. They can express themselves freely without interference. Yes, there are a few small checks on freedom, but not by the president. It's the people that surround him. Those people are keen to protect their privileges.
The key issue in this election is less the results than the way it is organised. Journalists have found some voters' names duplicated and others missing altogether.
We will have an election with many citizens of voting age who cannot get the opportunity to be registered as voters.
As Cameroon approaches its election, the government is tightening security across the country's biggest cities to clamp down on any protesters who dare to call for change.
Forget the podium speeches. Let's hear from those living the crisis. In Bamenda, a teacher says, I haven't taught in a full classroom in 4 years. In Biya, a young man says, I want peace more than I want a president. Displaced mothers sleeping in churches. Children grow up without schools. A trader in Kumba says, I lost everything and nobody came to help. These aren't stories. These are real people and they are tired of lies. If Cameroon wants peace, it must start with the truth. Federalism must return, not in words, but in practice. The government must sit down with the separatist leaders, not in secret meetings, but in genuine, transparent dialogue. Justice must come for victims. Reconstruction must begin, not with speeches, but with roads, schools, and jobs. And most importantly, young people must be part of the solution. They are the future, and the future cannot be built on broken promises. Cameroon is at the crossroad. The 2025 election could be a turning point or just another chapter in a long book of betrayal. If this video opened your eyes, do us one favor, like and share and comment your thoughts below. What should the next president really do to resolve the Anglophone crisis? Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for honest, in-depth coverage of stories from Cameroon and across Africa and across the world, because the truth deserves a voice, and that voice could be yours. This is Blessing Viral. See you in the next video.